Hi, MRT community. Courtney Sale, the Nancy L. Donahue Artistic Director. And I am so dang fortunate because I'm sitting here with not only a friend and colleague, but a writer and an educator and a poet and a father and a just wave maker, one of my favorite people to scheme and dream with, Idris Goodwin. And Idris, thank you so much for making time for us. We
Sure.
are glad you're here.
Always.
Yeah. Our audiences know you from the Realness a couple seasons ago. And they will know you again in the future.
Great. Look forward to that.
Yes. So I'm gathering some artists to talk about new works because that sits at the core of our mission.
Yeah.
And I think there's a mythology that people think that plays are made just by like you going away into your writerly studio and you build it, and we know that there's so many hours and people and nervous systems that form a play. So can you talk about that for you?
Yeah, I mean, you're making a living thing. You're writing a living thing. You're writing an event, and so you're writing something collaborative. So I've found what works for me is to always keep that in mind. Sometimes that can be a challenge in the beginning because there's this expectation that people just have a document where all the information in a document. But if you don't have all the information in a document, you call for clarity, you have a meeting, you know, whatever. And so similarly, sometimes with a play, there's this pressure to everything in the document. But it can all be in the document because you can't know until you get people and directors and audience. And so for me, that's, you know, I take great comfort in that, which allows me to not put a lot of pressure on the first draft because, you know, you just need to kind of birth the thing and just kind of create the bone structure. And then, you know, it's never done. It's just abandoned. And that's it. And that's kind of cool. And I realize the more I begin to know myself more, that really my art is collaboration. Like that's what I do. I practice collaboration, creative collaboration, project collaboration. It just so happens that for whatever reason, I fell on the writing side of it. But, you know, as a director, as an educator, director of an arts organization, you know, it's really that is the reason I do all these things. You know, hip hop music, you know, and that's my root. My root is hip hop because hip hop is a very collaborative form of creativity, of art, you know.
I'm asking people this, and I like where this question takes us, so I wanna lob it to you.
Word.
Which is like when you sit down to write something or make something, do you know what you're capable of?
Do I know what I'm capable of? That's a great question. You know, I think there's two ways to answer that. You know, my mind immediately goes to, like, do I know that I can write a play? Yes, of course, obviously. Do I know that I can write a play that will be unique and interesting? Yeah. You know, do I know this is going to be a good play or a great play? You know, that's subjective and a pointless exercise to even torture oneself with. That said, I am completely in for the journey, the discovery, the skill building. So to that end, it's the things that I don't know that I'm interested in, you know, like write out of curiosity. And that's what's cool about writing a collaborative piece of art is that you know that all these other cool, interesting, fascinating, frustrating, challenging people are going to join you and shape that thing and teach you stuff. you know. And then what I do love about being a writer is that, you know, it starts with the blank slate. Well, actually, even before you get to the blank slate, it starts with the selling the BS phase. You know, it starts with the Harold Hill phase, and then there's the like, oh my God, I can't believe I actually want to write this now.
I feel like we've done those phases together.
And then you start with the blank slate, and then you go on this amazing journey, and then you have your opening night, and you're this changed person, and it doesn't matter if it's the biggest 1,000-seat, you know, 700-seat theater, or if it's like the black box, you know, in the slowly gentrifying neighborhood. It doesn't matter. Like, the play always starts the same way, and that is a really exciting, because it's like this is new. This is another journey on. So who cares about what happened or didn't happen or whatever, whether it was a hit or failure? Like, it's you and the blank screen. I was gonna say blank page, but who does that anyway?
What I so admire about you in terms of like the scale of your work, like you have worked in all theaters and all across the country, and have developed work with lots of different theaters. What is, like, you know, if you could pull from all those environments, like the Idris Goodwin, like ideal space in which to make a play, what does that look like?
Well, okay. So, to be honest with you, I mean, as well, how do I answer this? Because there's so many different. I'll just tell you what I'm really curious about right now, what I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
What I do like about this we find ourselves in right now is a lot of it's forcing people to use different muscles.
Mm-hmm.
As creatives, as facilitators, as producers, we have, you know, it's like in the, you know, if you read comic books, there's always the episode or the issue where the hero has their power stripped. Mm-hmm. He or she has to find different way, you know, and it's about, are you really a hero? Like, are you really about that life, so to speak, or are you only the power? You know, I can't remember what it was, but I think it was Tony Stark. I think it was Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark told a young Peter Parker that said, if you're only the suit, then you don't deserve to wear it, because he had like this like suit and, you know, whatever. So to kind of bring it full circle, you know, for me, it's about a quest for mastery of craft, meaning that I'm trying to become a master collaborator. And the only way that you can truly become a master is if you can work with a myriad of different tools and a myriad of different contexts. You know, you got to play defense and offense. Like, can you post up? Can you shoot free throws? Can you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you go to the hole? Can you know, all of that good stuff. So to answer your real question, like, there is no ideal situation and there is no unideal situation. Like, I will, you know, it's just what we do. I had my son early this morning. I'm like, I have a deadline. I have a play due in probably about 2 hours. And I had none of it written yesterday. And it's a short play. And I had my son, he's 7 months old, and I've been my little headset thing, and I have this transcription program. And I just talked out the whole play. So now I got to go in because things got transcribed. I got to clean it all up. But just that initial, like, I got to just crack through phase. So I bring that up. I mean, who knows if it's a good play at all, but I'm just to say that, like, you know, the only, there's no ideal and there's no unideal, you know, because hey, the big expensive theater has tons of goodies, right? Tons of goodies, but they also got tons of opinions and tons of like, you should do this and you should cut that. And our subscribers didn't like this and and then you're like, then you start listening to the neighborhood. The Black Box in the Gentrifying Neighborhood has like the best audiences. They have the right spirit. They're like, do whatever you want. They trust you. But like, you know, it only seats 60 people and, you know, like the critics don't come, you know, so and so neither is better or worse. They both have things of value, great things of value. You need to see your dream audience work, and you need to get those royalties from that big giant theater. So you know, it's never not, it's just a blessing to get to do it at all. You know, it's a blessing to get anybody to give a crap about you or your work or any of that. Like, you know, people, I always say the biggest, they call it paying attention, because that the best form is someone's attention. You know, there's like nothing. It's more priceless than anything.
I'm really glad you hit on that, just in terms of audiences, because I think the leap of faith that playwrights take looking at their blank screen, like that's the leap of faith we're asking audiences to take. And that's how we develop the appetite. I got one more question for you.
Let's go.
Well, first of all, I just like want to like publicly like commend and applaud you for what you're writing about right now in this time. You know, I know that you have a whole host of creative projects that we can't even see, but I think your just salient voice, the pieces that you're writing about how we're using this moment, has been really inspiring for me. Is like lifted me up in moments where I'm feeling like I can't see out ahead. So like, I want to thank you for that. And just kind of on that, like we're in a moment of instinct. Like that's what's prized right now. And I just I want to know what's feeding your instincts and what's feeding this moment for you.
I mean, if anything, I'll tell you this, the thing that is a little new is writing now too. So I think before it was just, this is my profession, this is my skill set, you know, and I had things I wanted to say for sure. But now, right, it's a form of coping for me. It is filling me up in a way that it hasn't since I was like a kid, and, you know, like just like 11 or 12 and just starting to kind of mess around. And that's new. So in a way, I'm getting to kill a lot of birds, which is that, like, there's commerce happening around it, but it's also therapy for sure. And it's the thing, you know, and I'm trying to really be in it truly, like not think about, well, what's 6 months going to be? And like, I'm trying to really be in the right now as much as I can. Every day is its own thing, and grateful, you know, gratitude, you know, I'm reaching out to my people, talking to my colleagues and homies like you. And so, I don't know if that answers your question, but
Well, my dear friend, my fellow Libra, thank you for sharing your right now.
To the scale.
Those Libras.
It's a tough time for us air signs. It's a tough time for us air signs to be inside like this all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but sometimes I just need to go outside. I just need to go outside and just like walk around the block.
I'm doing a lot of stepping outside. So thank you, man. This is great.
Yeah, for sure. Good luck with everything. Keep in touch.